Brothers and sisters.
What do you think of CNN, though, when they took her and had her being worshipped and said she was a golden goddess? Have you seen that?
I have. When she had all the white on. I mean, it's almost comical, except it's not comical because it is a matter of life and death. It is a matter of life and death. Not only the life and death of the rule of law and the republic, but of the future of this country. And folks, it is up to us. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. We can
no, we're not. We're admitting how bad it is. In fact, this is a good paradigm you always point out, and you say this 20 years ago to me, and I didn't get it. Hey, we got to give people hope. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm exposing the evil. The hope is we better fight it because that's just how my instincts are. A lot of other folks hear something's overwhelming. They just give up. No, no, no. We're exposing it because exposing them, basic humanity will turn against them like the Brexit. And that's now beginning. That's why it's such an exciting time to be alive. They're having to pull out all the stops to try to block us right now. But they're not successful at this point. They're losing control. And you see the whole world resisting globalism now. The whole world is coming together. That's why they're activating George Soros groups. He admits it on race and religious lines to cause infighting. There's beefs with everybody. There's real bad cops. There's real bad white supremacists or blacks, of course. But they blow it up out of proportion and make it the only issue so we're all uncomfortable fighting with each other so we don't see the controllers above us that are coming after everybody.
Absolutely, Alex.
So let's get into where you think Trump's going, the state of the world right now.
All you have to do is look at history. 1980, we had the Iran Fair when Jimmy Carter was being taken over by Ronald Reagan. 1992, we had Waco and we had Oklahoma City. All these are false flag events. 2011, the biggest false flag event of all time. 2008, and I do astrology, and whether you believe in it or not, is that there is the objective history of false flag events, and it appears to me as though a month and a half to 2 months before the election or 2 months or 3 months after the election, there is the possibility of a huge, massive false flag events. And knowledge is power. People like Alex and others around the world are putting out objective information so that we do not get blindsided this time. We know what's coming on because what they want to do is the old Hegelian theory, problem, reaction, solution, problem, reaction, solution, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. And friends, we have the ability now. We're building up the energy so that we can transcend this stuff. And
they almost can't do it anymore because they always get caught.
Well, they're always getting caught. I mean, what happened in Orlando?
Well, let's talk about astrology. Yeah. I personally just don't get into all that, whatever. But then you look at the elite, I mean, around the world, they are obsessed with it. Totally. They're making their decisions off of it. I mean, basically all of them. And so you better study it. I do now to be able to know what they're up to. Yeah. Because, and I don't mean the pop stuff, but I mean the real stuff. Right. That's what they're into.
Well, remember, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And if by understanding energy, we learn the astrology to transcend it. Let me repeat that. We learn the astrology to transcend it, for us to become our own highest Christ itself, for each human being to become the best that they can be, to live in cooperation and honesty and truth, and all the things that we're talking about, which is the basic bedrock of the republic of this country. Friends, this is not new stuff. This has gone way back to the one called Jesus, and even way, way back before that. We have the option right now, and even though we're facing the greatest danger to the future of humanity on this planet, we're also have the greatest opportunity to transcend. But it's going to take people, it's taking people like Alex and many others who have the backbone and the courage to speak the truth and to say, hey, look, this is not right. The king has no clothes on.
That's right, George. I want to get your take specifically on the types of false flags they may pull, economic false flags, because the world obviously is going into crisis. The Chinese government came out yesterday. In fact, I need to pull that article and said, prepare for war with the United States. It's imminent. Putin's talking about this. I mean, this is amazing. We've never heard rhetoric like this. The book just came out, Life, Love, Joy. George Humphrey, my good friend in here, has written it. George, this is a short segment. Long segment's coming up to really flesh some stuff out and play some clips and get into more news. But talking to you, it's clear, and we can read their own books and writings, that the globalists are setting up a world government and that they don't want us to be healthy. They don't want us to be informed. and that they are just bombarding us by design with every unhealthy, horrible thing in the world, while putting regulations and restrictions on everything else to shut down other economies and really engage in total, not just social, but planetary engineering, right down to the geoengineering, under this global national security, global security initiative. And if you look at it, it is quite alien. And I say, why hide what your book gets into? You're not doing that. Obviously, you wrote the book. I'm not afraid to get into, say, off-world civilization, whatever. I don't know that. I can't prove that. All I know is the elite we have, by any way you look at it, behave like you would expect a colonizing alien species to behave that's getting ready to kill everybody. And then the elites say they want to cull the earth, down to 200 and something million, and in some papers say even higher. That's official global policy. So they're trying to create artificial species. They're trying to create AI. They say they're going to merge the machines and be God. I don't believe in God yet, Ray Kurzweil. I'd talk about this 15 years ago. People said, oh, that's crazy. Now it's mainline. They're telling us humans are bad. They're telling us that it'll be wonderful once we're gone. I mean, I'm just waiting for them to pull mask off and actually be aliens or something. And again, it's an allegory. I'm not saying they're literally aliens, but if you look at the Christian background, and I'm a Christian, I have a relationship with Christ, not the establishment church, but with Christ, you see that everything this world system's doing is the opposite of what Christ said. And, here's Christ in the whole Bible warning, saying there are these fallen ones led by this really bad guy that wants to kill you. But first he wants a world government to carry it out.
You are so right on. And we'll go back to the one called Jesus. His real name, of course, was Yeshua ben Joseph. And for me, he was the real deal. And his family were Nazarenes. They were the ones who put out the Nag Hammadi. And in the Nag Hammadi, if any of you have ever read it, 40% of it is about the archons, about the alien energies that are creating chaos on this planet. And so the true Christian energy is aware of the chaos that is here. But it's also about the fact that we as humans, with the DNA that we have the ability and the opportunity to transcend this and become much, much better people and to have a much more beautiful world. And this is not the Ray Kurzweil method.
They're bringing in a false system.
Yes. Right now, most of the listeners on this are trinary, body, mind, and soul, and we're carbon and we're relatively sentient. Ray Kurzweil and that, and Regina Dugan, they don't want trinary. They want binary, and they want silicone. They want good little android slaves. And friends, as wild as this sounds, ask yourself, how is it that this thing called the Illuminati, and I would say that probably 98% of the listeners realize that there really is an Illuminati. How can this handful of people have complete control of all the economic, political, ecclesiastic, and media institutions, not just of this country, but of this world?
Because it's a long-term plan.
Because it's a long-term plan. And it's very well done. And just like many of our ancestors, the British, the French, the Spanish, the Portuguese in the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 1800s went out and they were imperialist. And by the 1800s, about 80% of the world was under imperialistic rule. There is planetary imperialism. There is a movement toward the acquisition of this planet right now. Now, friends, don't believe a word that I'm saying, but think of the basics of right here. And even if I'm completely wrong.
I mean, here's the problem. You look at it from that perspective, and then it all makes sense. And then you look at the Bible, it says that's what's happening. So if you're a Christian, you should believe that. But and they got the fake New Age movement, which is this system that all be a bunch of cult members and the world government and the peace is coming. So we all accept that fake world government, that fake peace. And then you see the UN, the globalists funding it all, running it all. I'm saying that I don't know if any of that's true, George. All I know is that the elite we have act like they're our sworn enemies and hate humanity, and all they say is how bad and ugly humanity is and how they're going to be God. So Ray Kurzweil says he wants to be this new entity and that all of us are going to have to die. Okay, so a guy, look, they're building this thing. So these people say it's just like in the last two Terminators ago. We're going to go to break, come back, George, but I want to think about this. Not this Terminator, but the Terminator before that had what's his name in it?
I know who you're talking about.
What's the name of the actor that's
I
so
forgot
many movies?
Good.
Anyways, the point is, I'll look it up during the break. It turns out it was a crazy woman that interfaced with a machine and made this crazy AI that was killing everybody. They kind of tell you. Because it's the elite want to merge the machines and then kill everybody. And then they're actually running Google, Facebook, and everything. And Apple has slave factories. I mean, we're in trouble, folks. We'll be back. Situation with China. Jakari Jackson did a report on it yesterday where the People's Daily came out and said, prepare for imminent combat in the South China Sea against the United States. I already played the report. I guess it was Sunday. No, we aired it Monday. No, it was so important I aired it Sunday and Monday. Putin begging with the press saying they're moving missiles up against our borders. This could lead to nuclear war. This is so serious. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But before we go any further, I'm not going to belabor this. DNA Force is our top-of-the-line nutraceutical, super high quality, the lowest price you're going to find for all these compounds together or separately. If you bought them all separate, it'd be 4, 5, 6 times what this is. It's 25% off. We hardly ever do this. We've done this 3 other times in its 3-year history, and it's sold out very quickly each time. And you know when you get this high-quality product that you're also supporting this broadcast and what we're going to do in Cleveland and what we're going to do coming up in Philadelphia with the DNC and all of our coverage of things like Bilderberg, the demonstrations around the country, the game-changing things that we're involved in with our crew exposing the open border. InfoWars is having a giant effect thanks to you supporting the broadcast and spreading the word. It's got 4.7 stars from Power Reviews and other third-party sites. DNA Force, our most advanced product, deep research, patented ingredients, difficult to source. Go read the reviews for yourself, and I want to thank you all for your support. InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site, and I'm extending it 48 hours, and then it's over. Now, at first we did it for a week. No, 4 days. And then we extended it and expanded it. I can't expand it on the non-GMO heirloom seeds, the water filters, the optics, and hundreds of other items because of contractual issues with our producers. I can with the food, and I can with our nutraceuticals. 10% off. We're extending that 10% off for 2 days, 48 hours. And the 40% off on the storable food, we're extending that for 2 days as well. And then it's over, and it'll probably be, I would guess, until around Christmas, even if we can do that, till we have the special again. It's so important to get prepared and to get prepared with Patriots so it's a win-win, so that you're offensively helping fund the info war while you also get prepared yourself. That's the type of things that I look for. And people call it reap what you sow, karma, whatever. More and more as I get older, I realize my whole life is guided by trying to find systems and ecosystems and political systems and ideas where everyone gets enriched by the process, and it's a free association process. And that's what builds everything good. History is replete. Look at Venezuela collapsing. And dozens of other countries are collapsing into flames and robbery and starvation, all under collectivism. George Humphrey, my friend, here in studio with us. The new book, Life, Love, and Joy, available at Amazon.com. We intend to cover it and carry it soon as well. I've been ranting here. Let's get into where this global fight's going. Suddenly, all these mainstream publications saying radiation's good for you, aluminum's good for you, aspartame's good for you, world government's good for you, humans are bad, parents are bad, you can't have a male and female, don't have children, male and female existing is racist and hateful. They're actually saying this. I mean, this is like a science fiction movie. Again, I would expect little green men to be teaching us this. What's really going on?
Well, there's so much, and it's at so many different levels. And the first level is to awaken and to become aware that we have a choice, either to be victims or to reject victim consciousness. That is the biggest single thing that we as human beings can do, because everything is light and vibration, and there is a natural vibration, and then there's a synthetic vibration. The synthetic vibration is controlled by the banking, the political, the ecclesiastic, and the media.
It's the artificial reality they're trying to...
And they are creating this incredible matrix, whatever you want to call this, to create subservient android little slaves. And it is happening. And it doesn't have to happen. It is time. The world is changing. The planet is changing. And we have the opportunity to break up the synthetic insanity.
And the truth is, the globalists don't just want to make us slaves because they want slaves. Humans are made in the image of God. Bible. We're these incredible creatures with this amazing potential. They want to mount our head on the wall. They want to play with us. They want to have victory over something strong and powerful and beautiful.
Well, also, our DNA is the bottom line of all of this. And it's my opinion that the DNA of human beings on this planet is the most amazing DNA in not only the solar system.
Well, a lot of scientists, as you know, top ones that were atheists or whatever,
yes,
now are